Someone on Twitter said that we should introduce ourselves at the beginning of every podcast. I don't know how I feel about
Huh.
that.
Okay. Well, I'm Jarvis Lex. That's it. What about you, Mike?
I'm Mike, and I don't read comic books.
Yeah. Oh, and I do. Well, sometimes it's not as much as I need to, but
You
I do.
used to a
I
lot.
do. I do feel that I am a comic book aficionado.
Yeah, I
In
think
some ways.
you're like an expert witness as far as comic books are concerned.
Yeah. I mean, I read a ton of comics in like almost half my life, and so all that knowledge is still there. So I mean, it's like when you like I went like basically I went to college for comics for about 10 years,
What?
20 years actually.
How's that? Oh, you're just saying because you read so many.
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
you
I
didn't
read. I
actually
was
do
reading.
something in college related to
No,
comic
I
books.
was reading more.
Okay,
I was reading more comics than I was reading anything else for a very long time. So yeah,
gotcha.
I consider myself an expert,
Okay,
which makes our current movie interesting for me. As I was watching it yesterday,
yeah,
we're going to talk about a Batman movie, but it's not the Batman that came out this weekend,
right.
which is getting great reviews, by the way.
Really
We're talking about another very good, very peculiar Batman movie called the Lego Batman movie.
interesting. Okay, so this is a long-awaited episode. I've been talking about this for a long time, and you've been not looking forward
Dodging
to
it.
it for a long
I've
time.
been
Yeah,
dodging like bullets dodging like Neo, dodging bullets. I've been doing the best I
that's
could.
right. But you said it's a very
Uh,
good movie.
uh, let me pref let me preference it. I gotta preference it
Okay,
in a couple different ways.
okay.
Um, is it well made? Absolutely. The animation's absurdly good.
Hmm.
It looks brilliant.
Lots of really
When I
great
ca-
shots. Like I was watching this, and it was making me look back on Blade 2 and Blade 3, and the
Mm.
direction in this Lego Batman movie is so
you
much
can't com-
better than either one of
you
those
can't
Blade sequels.
you can't yeah you can't compare it. You can't compare it. It's actually as far as like well, I mean, they have full control of the universe. I mean, it's not like they're in a physical space and have to set
True,
up
but
cameras. It's just like
they treat it like so like you can do full control of the universe and your shots are unlike something you could
yeah,
ever possibly do with a camera, but
yeah.
I think they treated it like there is a camera and they're moving the camera and they don't really do things that are physically impossible.
I mean, the movie's brilliant as far. I mean, I didn't see the original Lego movie. I'm sure you have.
Yeah, I've seen
Uh,
that. Yep.
and so I actually have like today. You get to answer questions because I have questions.
Okay.
Um, so like I never seen a Lego movie. I saw this one, and like just it's just I wasn't prepared for the brilliance of Will Arnett as Batman. I just was not like
He's fantastic.
the yeah the yeah it's just he's super funny. His voice is perfect for it.
Right.
Constant ab jokes, constant push up jokes. Very
Right.
very ultra male. I was trying to keep up with the jokes so I can remember some. And
Yeah.
I couldn't keep up with them.
My
I mean,
first note is that Batman has a 9-pack.
yeah, yeah, I have enough. I got extra ab.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, and like the idea behind the movie is smart. If you look at the Batman story, the idea is that Batman's parents were killed by an assailant. Batman is traumatized emotionally by it, and at some point he decides that he has to do something in order to make sure no one that never happens to anyone else again.
Hmm.
And he becomes a vigilante. And whenever you talk to people about Batman, a lot of the ideas that he is mentally unstable, mentally unwell, he has like a mental disorder all comes up because like it's just not a normal thing to do. Like a normal
Right.
person wouldn't do that.
Hmm.
And the tragedy of his parents' death obviously, caused him some problems. And then the Lego Batman movie took that theme, but then say, okay, well, what if we tried to give Batman some therapy through the movie? And like, so you have like characters like the Joker, and you have like Batgirl in this case, and you have like little Dick Grayson turns to Robin. You have like the Butler, and they're all doing the same thing, which is like trying to show Batman that he needs friends, that he needs a family, that that being with people was not bad. That just because you lost your parents doesn't mean that you can't, trust people and grow connections, which I think's it's a good thing for kids to watch. I mean, if you have a movie like this and it's funny, it's like a lot of action. I'm not sure why every time they shoot a gun, they say pew pew pew.
I loved that. I loved that. Every weapon in the entire movie is the sound effects are voiced. All of them.
I got real old. But I guess it's
like
funny.
Some of them aren't pew. Like
pew, pew,
there's
pew,
definitely some of them that are pew
pew,
pew pew pew, but others are like different voice sounds, and I love that part.
I mean, it's a kids movie. I mean, like this is a kid. Like this movie is made for children. It's not made for children, but if you put a kid in front of it, they're gonna have a great time. It's it's super funny.
Yeah.
It's very colorful. It's like a lot of action. It has Legos, so we can't stop. We can't not address the fact that this is going to sell tons of Legos, right? Like, I mean, a kid watches this movie, they're going to want to buy all the Legos. Like
how cool was that Scrambler or whatever it's called, the main vehicle that they used? It's like it flies, but it can quickly transform into like a bat type thing that can climb up a wall. That's like the best Batman vehicle I've ever seen. Yeah,
and like if you're a kid, you're going to want that. Like I need, and like Legos are expensive. Legos are not cheap.
Yeah, they are.
Legos are not cheap. And so like once you start buying Legos, you realize, my God, these things are super expensive. And like you just gotta deal with it. I mean, I wonder if I don't want to get off track. But when I was a kid, I had tons of Legos.
Oh yeah.
I gave them away at some point where I got sick of playing with them. I just gave them to a kid. My mom got very upset about that. She's like, "You just gave them away?" I was like, "I don't want them."
They last forever.
Yeah, I actually have some things to say about that later, but I don't want to say too much about it. But I will say this: we need to get rid of plastics, guys.
They are working on that. They're working on plant-based plastics for Legos. So like
they have to do something.
They started out with like making some of their plant Legos out of plants, as a test, and they're going to try to expand that. But yeah, I mean at least the plastics last forever, so you don't you're not like constantly having to replace them. But yeah, if they can make them out of something better, perfect.
Is there a market somewhere for like old Lego sets? Like, hey, I have a bunch of Legos.
I think absolutely there is. Yeah.
That's the only good. Wait, there is a way. I read something. There was some kind of thing I saw where like it was a thing where it's like, oh yeah, there was some kind of crazy Lego set that was being made, but it was designed so once you clip the pieces in, you can't get them out. It was impossible or really hard to get them out.
What?
And people were complaining. Yeah, people were complaining that the resale value of Lego sets were gone. Like you build the set, but then you can't take it apart and sell it to other people so they could build it. And so that whole market of reselling it. And like people were saying that Lego was trying to do it so they could sell more sets. It's a whole controversy.
There was a dark period for Lego where a lot of their sets were based off of other like intellectual properties, and along with that, they did all of these custom pieces that only really made sense for that set. And they've gotten away from that. So like they used to have these like big custom pieces that were like curved and would fit this one set, but only this one set. And now they've gone back to like their old ways where they'll do these sets that are based off of Batman or Harry Potter or whatever, but they're built with pretty typical Lego pieces so that they're completely interchangeable now.
Do your kids play with Legos?
They have gotten over it, but I haven't. I still play with Legos. I still like it. I've got a Lego set that I need to put together that I haven't done yet. I bought a Lego typewriter.
What? A Lego typewriter?
Typewriter, yeah.
That's going to take forever to build.
Yeah, it's pretty complicated. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully I can get my son to build it with me. He used to be like, he was awesome with Legos when he was a little kid. Like he was doing Lego sets that were way above his age level.
They grow up.
Yeah.
They grow up. Anyway, so that section of the podcast is sponsored by Lego, by the way, for all your Lego needs.
I wish it were.
You use the code Super Sideshow for 10% off of any Lego product. It's not true. We don't have that. That'd be nice though.
That would be nice.
So
I'd use it.
So you have the Lego element, so you have all these visually dynamic, awesome things when you look at the movie, different kind of in Lego jokes that were just seen as you look at it, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then you have like the Batman stuff, so you have the entire DC universe that you get to play with as your like backdrop for your show, and like not just that, but you also have like in the not the negative zone,
Phantom Zone.
Yeah, it's negative. Phantom Zone. I'm sorry, it's Phantom Zone. Negative zone is in Marvel. Phantom Zone is in DC. You have like King Kong, Sauron. You have all these different kind of cool like the Gremlins were really funny. So you have
the
all
Wicked Witch of the West, Voldemort, Daleks.
So you have a lot, and this is what happened when I was looking at it. I got overwhelmed. I literally had to stop halfway through and just rest my eyes and rest my ears because it's non-stop. It's nonstop.
Yeah,
it's nonstop jokes.
It's more full tilt than a Fast and Furious movie.
It's more, yeah. It's just too much. Like I haven't watched a movie like that, and I can't remember when. Like it's just like, please stop.
But I don't think I don't think it's bad. I think it's like full tilt in a good way.
I mean, I don't know what's wrong with me, Mike. Like there'll be certain points in my life where like my brain's just like, you need to go away for 10 minutes. Cause like it's just like my brain's sort of like, I don't know, my brain's sort of like I just can't process this stuff anymore. Like it might be because of video games, I don't know, but it's just like my brain's like, you just have to like get away. And like the scene where what scene? It was a scene where Joker broke into the press conference where Commissioner Gordon was going to retire, right? That scene,
right? Yeah,
and it was all chaos and all this other stuff, and everything was going, and like I just had to pause it and be like, oh my, it gets just too much.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's a reflection on me. It probably is. But that's my only complaint, was that the sheer amount of stuff that I was getting hit with was just kind of overwhelming to me. But if I had a child, I would put them right in front of this thing and walk off. I'm fine. They're fine.
I've watched all the Lego movies. I mean, there's definitely like ones that are better than others. The Ninjago Lego movie is probably the weakest of all of them, but I still really enjoyed it. It's got Jackie Chan in it, and I think he actually helped choreograph some of the fights in it as well. But I think I've got a place for you to wield some of your comic book nerdery as we talk about this. At the beginning of the movie, we've got the Joker, and he's like rattling off this long list of villains.
Yeah. Do you have the list?
I've got the list. Yeah.
Okay, so just give me the names, and I'll tell you if they're in the DCU or not.
So I was hoping that's how this would go. It would be funny if, like, I read them off about as fast as the Joker did, and then I just get to hear you say nope, 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 like over and over again. I think they're all in there. I think they are all legit characters.
No,
even the craziest one. I looked the craziest one up. He's a legit character. So I think here's how it's going to have to go. I'm going to rattle these off, and you tell me whether you know anything about them, and what you and just tell us what you can, like a little bit that you can tell us about each one of them.
Okay, I'll do my best.
Okay, because I think they're all legit. Okay, I looked some of them up. All right.
Okay.
The Riddler.
Yes, it's the Riddler.
We all know the Riddler, right? He's been in Batman movies before. Jim Carrey played him.
Yeah, Enigma. Yeah,
yeah. Two-Face.
He's real quick. Riddler's in the new Batman movie. Great villain. Riddler's great villain.
He's in the new Batman movie.
Supposedly, yeah.
Two-Face. Billy D. Williams voiced Two-Face in this movie.
Riddler. The Riddler's in the new.
Oh, the Riddler is.
Two-Face is not.
Okay.
Billy D. Williams voiced the character of Two-Face in this movie. Billy D. Williams was also Harvey Dent in the original Batman 1989 movie.
Right. And apparently looked forward to playing Two-Face, but never got the chance to.
Nope, but they're not going to give a black man to be Two-Face.
Well, the director changed. Like the director changed, and he went in a completely different direction.
Yeah.
Scarecrow.
Yeah, of course.
What? Tell me about Scarecrow a little bit because I know he showed up very lightly in one of the Christian Bale Batman movies, I think,
Hmm.
but
He
like
was in the
not.
he was in Batman. He wasn't lightly. He was a big character in
But he
Batman
wasn't like
Begins.
really developed as a villain, wasn't? Didn't we
Yeah.
usually see
Yeah.
him
Yeah.
as just
No.
a human?
In Batman Begins, he well, the character of Scarecrow is just a human. He's a guy who specializes in fear toxins. And like his whole thing is to use fear against his enemies. So yeah, so he was a pretty big part of Batman Begins, and
Okay, I
he's
thought
been
that I
in.
thought that he was one of the characters that was like we really saw him before he actually became the Scarecrow.
We did, yeah. In Batman Begins, it showed his development as a regular person into the Scarecrow character.
Okay, but we did get his
You,
fully blossomed Scarecrow character
yeah.
as well,
Do we
and I
need
just
to?
don't remember that. Okay,
Are we going to have to watch the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy?
I don't know. I mean, that's up to you, I guess.
No.
You have to suggest that, and then we have to get the Twitter people to vote on it.
We'll see. Anyway,
Yeah.
keep going. We're getting behind.
All right, Bane.
Yeah.
He's the main bad guy for the second Christian Bale Batman.
But the third Christian Bale movie, The Dark Knight Rises, he's also Bane broke Batman's back in the critically acclaimed Nightfall comic series back in I forget in the 90s. Batman Arkham Asylum is a whole something happens at Arkham Asylum. All the villains get out. Batman spends all night trying to get all the villains back in. And at the very end, he's exhausted, he's tired, and Bane shows up and like beats him up and breaks his back. And then that opens up for Bruce Wayne not to be Batman for a while. And then we get a bunch of different things that happen, and then we slowly get Batman back.
In this movie, he's voiced by Doug Benson. Do you know?
Yeah, I mean the bit like Bane's a joke in this. Of
Right.
course, you can't have but I don't know who Doug Benson is.
Doug Benson's a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
He has a podcast where he talks about movies. So I used to listen to his podcast a lot. And ever since that Batman movie where Bane came out, Doug Benson does impersonations of Tom Hardy as Bane in that movie in his podcast. And so like there's this one part of his podcast where they go into like a game show mode and he does his Bane, let the games begin. He does a much better job of it than I do. So that's actually why they picked him for this role, is because they listened to the podcast and they liked his impersonation of it. So they cast him as Bane. Pretty cool.
Do you know how much money this movie costs to make?
There's a pretty star-studded cast here.
It's $80 million.
Really?
Yes, $80 million.
Yeah.
So just to let you know, like that's a lot. That's a lot of money to make. Anyway, keep going.
All right. Catwoman.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
We gotta go faster because it's a lot. So,
all right. Catwoman, real quick though, voiced by Zoe Kravitz in this movie.
She's in the new Batman movie.
She's in the new Batman movie as Catwoman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Clayface.
Yes.
Who's Clayface, man? You got to tell us a little bit about that.
I don't know his I don't know his original comic book origins. I do know his story from the original the animated Batman the animated series. Which, if you have not watched Batman the animated series, you've watched Batman the animated series, have you not, Mike?
I've watched some of it. Yeah,
it's probably the best animated. Let me stop. It is the best Batman product as far as like entertainment they've ever made. It's fantastic. Make sure you watch.
Is this
Batman
the one where
series.
Mark Hamill plays the Joker?
Yes, it's so good.
Okay,
it's like it's impossibly good. Like it's like we can't have anything as good as the Batman the animated series. Anyway,
right.
In Clayface, in that series, Clayface was an actor. He gets caught up in some chemicals, some kind of chemicals reacted to him in a weird way, and it allowed him to. I think he experimented himself to use some kind of chemicals to change his face, and then the chemicals kind of took over his whole body, and that's how he became Clayface. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting character. In the animated series, he has a couple of different episodes where his story is told really well, and it's very tragic. I mean, the animated series does a very good job with the villains making them human. But anyway, that's Clayface. I don't know as much about him as I need to, but everybody who watched the animated series knows. And the Clayface from the Lego Batman movie was modeled after the animated series Clayface. 100%.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, these ones up front, I think there's going to be more to talk about for them, and we're going to speed up as we go down this list.
Sure.
Poison Ivy. We all know Poison Ivy,
Uh-huh.
right? She was in one of the previous Batman movies. Who portrayed Poison Ivy?
Batman and Robin. And it was
That's like the worst, right? That's the worst of all the Batman movies.
It was Uma Thurman.
Uma Thurman. There we go.
Yeah, trivia. In the comic books, Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy are in a relationship. They are lovers.
Interesting. Okay. Another point of trivia: Uma Thurman was in the Kill Bill movies. In this movie, when Batman and Batgirl are teaming up, Batman's like, "Oh, who's going to work with us? Is it going to be?" He rattles off these three things. One of them, the first one, I can't remember what it is, but the second one is Fox Force 5, and then the last one is the Suicide Squad. He's like, "Are we going to team up with them?" Fox Force 5 is a team that Uma Thurman was a member of in, I think actually maybe it's Pulp Fiction instead of Kill Bill. Anyway, it was a fictional TV show that she was on.
Oh, you're right. Gosh, that's a silly deep dive. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. That's the deepest dive I've ever seen.
It stood out, the name stood out. I was like, is that comic books? So I had to look that up.
I keep forgetting you're a huge Quentin Tarantino fan.
Yeah. All right. Mr. Freeze.
Yes.
Arnold Schwarzenegger played him in a really bad movie.
But just forget that. Everybody, please watch the animated series stories on Mr. Freeze for Batman animated series. It is just absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. You have to watch the animated series.
In this movie, is he kind of modeled after the animated series version?
No, he's modeled off of the stupid Batman Robin movie.
Okay.
But I just can't. I'm getting emotional just talking about the animated series because it's so good. But make sure, if you're interested, if you like that, if you're thinking more about Batman lately, just watch the Batman animated series stuff. It's just amazingly good. It's just so great.
You know what? Watching this last night made me think. It made me think about how good Batman movies are, and in general, and how bad they've been lately. To the point where I've completely checked out. So
some of them are good, some of them are bad. So that's just
after the Christian Bale ones, there was a really horrible point where all the Batman movies were bad.
There was only there's not been an official Batman movie. There was the Ben Affleck Batman versus Superman stuff.
Yeah, I consider that a Batman movie. I consider that a Batman movie as much as Captain America. Civil War was a Captain America movie.
We can debate Ben Affleck as Batman. We can't do it right now. We don't have time. But yes,
I'm never going to do that because it would make me have to rewatch that in order to be able to debate it. So that's just not going to happen.
Okay.
We will. Right. If we're going to do that, we'll have to have a sponsor for that episode. That's the only way I'll do that.
Okay, maybe I'll start up a GoFundMe to get enough money for you to want
whatever it takes.
Anyway, keep going.
All right,
we have this list is super long, Mike.
Hey, we're going to speed up. We're going to speed up. This is the last one that we're going to spend some time on.
Penguin is definitely a big one, of course. Yeah,
I don't remember what he looks like in the Lego Batman movie. What's he modeled after?
He looks like the traditional Penguin from the comics, but Penguin's got a couple. Penguin has many iterations. He has I can think of 15, 20 different ways he looks. Nobody can really settle on a good look for him. So
okay, all right. Here's where we're going to be like, do you know anything about this character at all? Crazy Quilt.
Okay. Yeah, no, but he is a character.
It's a horrible name.
I kind of like the way it kind of rolls off the tongue. Crazy
I mean, it does, but what's his power? Does he throw quilts at people?
I have no idea. I just know he's a character.
Eraser.
Yes.
Yes, what?
He's a character.
Okay, all right, and you know about him. Okay,
yeah.
Polka-Dot Man, we know about him. He was in the Suicide Squad movie. He's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Mime.
Yes.
Okay.
I
Tarantula.
don't know anything about him.
You know he's a character, but you don't know anything about him.
Yes.
Okay. Tarantula.
Yes. But I don't know any details.
King Tut.
Yes, for sure, but I don't know any details.
Orca.
I do know that he was an animated series villain.
King Tut.
Yes.
Okay.
If I remember correctly.
That's cool.
Orca is one, yeah.
Orca was making me think it was a playoff of the Shark Man from Suicide Squad, but I guess Orca's
King
its own
Shark.
character. Yeah, King Shark.
King Shark, and Orca is
So Orca's its own character.
Yeah.
Killer Moth.
Yes, for sure. Actually, Killer Moth's kind of cool. I've read a couple comics with Killer Moth.
Okay. March Harriet.
I don't know anything. I don't know. I think I'm pretty sure that's a comic character.
I think these are all legit. So
I don't think all of them are legit. There's a couple of them that I don't think is legit.
All right.
But
yeah.
you might have researched it. But some of these I've never heard of.
Okay, March Harriet is just that's a weird name, man. All right, Zodiac Master.
Yes.
Okay. Gentleman Ghost.
Yes.
Do you know anything about Gentleman Ghost you can tell us about? It's just funny.
No. DC's a weird place, Mike. It's DC. This is the first time we've had a conversation about DC Comics. And it's a weird, strange place. And I did not read as many DC comics as I read Marvel comics.
Right. It seems like they go. It seems like DC's a little. I'm going to use the word creative. They're a little bit more creative with some of their characters than Marvel is.
Yeah, they don't care about They don't care about a lot of different things. It's a philosophical thing with them, and we can get into that at some point in discussion about the difference between Marvel and DC and their storytelling. But DC does not really care that much about continuity or about like you know how Marvel has created the multiverse to explain how they can have comic book characters and movie characters and different movies from different franchises and they all work together in one seamless unit.
Right. Yeah.
DC does not care about that at all. In fact, DC Comics rebooted their comic book series as far as like this continuity of it. I think 2 times in 2 years. So it's like, yeah, I don't even know how many times they've rebooted it in the last couple of years.
When I was looking up this one character, they actually, so I remember you saying that, but this one character apparently is both in the DC animated universe and also like Earth 16 or something like that.
I just don't. I wish I knew more about the way DC is doing things.
Yeah.
I think that sales are actually even bad because of it, but I'm not sure.
Okay. All right. So, Gentleman Ghost is where we got into that conversation. Clock King.
Yes, for sure. Clock King is definitely a villain.
Okay. Calendar Man.
Yes, 100%.
Do you know what Calendar Man does?
No, but he's a serious villain. He was in the Hush storyline in Batman. He was supposed to have been maybe the character Hush. I won't get into too many details, but yeah, he's a serious villain. Don't make fun of Calendar Man. He's a serious villain. Okay,
his name is not serious at all.
What are you talking about? I'm Calendar Man.
It's like, so you throw like sheets of calendars at you.
Do you know how hard it is to spell the word calendar? Everybody gets that wrong because it's the A at the end. It's not E. It doesn't make any sense.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Why is there an A at the end of calendar? It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. Kite Man.
Yes, sure.
Okay. Catman.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
There's a Catman.
Yeah, there is. Don't get him confused with Wildcat. It's a different character.
Okay. Is Catman related at all to Catwoman?
No idea.
Okay. All right. Zebra Man.
Yes.
Okay. The Condiment King.
I don't know. This is when I started thinking that's not real. But
the Condiment King is absolutely real. I looked him up.
There you go. Yeah.
And he looks in Lego. He's modeled after the Condiment King as he appears in the DC animated universe.
Yeah, that's super disappointing. But it is
And
weird.
his weapons are that he has a ketchup and a mustard gun, and hot sauce apparently comes into play somehow. I don't know if he has a hot
If you
sauce.
shoot hot sauce in someone's eyes, they're going to be blinded.
Yeah, yeah,
and
it's
screaming.
it's basically like pepper spray.
That's not funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think he mains ketchup, you know. So I don't know what that
Ketchup's
does.
such a weird condiment.
Yeah.
It is strange. If you really start thinking about it, ketchup is weird.
Yeah, I guess so. Took a tomato and made it sweet.
Yeah. And like barbecue sauce is a little different, and I can understand barbecue sauce.
Mm-hmm.
And mustard has that whole like tangy, but ketchup's just like, what is that? But it's delicious.
Yeah. Too delicious.
But you can only use it on certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Like I will use ketchup on fries, and I'll put it on my burger or hot dog, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. You're not a ketchup and eggs guy?
That's the worst thing I've ever heard.
My parents did that when I was a kid. I was like, "What are you doing?"
Disgusting.
But then I grew up. You know how you were talking about how you like pancakes and eggs, and you like it when your maple syrup gets into the eggs.
Yeah, that's different. That's not ketchup.
I was eating breakfast and I had hash browns with ketchup, and the ketchup got into the eggs, and I was like, "This is actually pretty good."
That's disgusting. I won't do it. I will never eat ketchup with eggs. That's just gross.
All right, so the Condiment King is the end of the list. That's the end of the list. Yeah.
So I guess they were all So
they're all legit.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The can I say something real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Zach Galifianakis' Joker was disappointing to me. I thought it would be a different performance, but it wasn't compelling. They should have got Mark Hamill for this.
He's not Zach Galifianakis enough, I don't think. I think that's the problem.
No. Yeah, it's like
I read that he was basing his role off of Joker from the like original, or not the original Batman movie, but one of the early
the old movies. School 60s, the 60 ones?
No, the what's his name? Jack Nicholson.
Oh, well, it didn't work.
Yeah, I think he should have been more Zach and less.
If you look at this list, if you look at this list, I will read off the people who I think did a phenomenal job. Will Arnett, Michael Cera, Rosario Dawson.
Can we like Rosario Dawson as Batgirl? Like, that's amazing.
Yeah, and like Ralph Fiennes did the best. Like his voice acting was excellent.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, Will Arnett like stole the show. Yeah. But Zach Galifianakis, when he had a job to be the Joker in a movie like this, he just didn't do a very good job of it. It didn't sound very well. I wasn't impressed at all. And there's other people that were very underwhelming. Like Seth, like why pay money for Seth Green to be King Kong's voice when you can't even tell that it's him? Like and like why get Zoe Kravitz to be Catwoman when she's barely saying anything? You're paying these people a lot.
Today Seth Green is more of a voice actor than anything else. So he's probably just in this as a voice actor.
Seth Green did a phenomenal job in Mass Effect as a character. And do you know the name of his character he played in Mass Effect?
No.
The Joker or Joker.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, that was his flight name. He was a pilot. But like Ellie Kemper, like there's some people in this that got paid money. Like Hollywood is a universal basic income scheme. Is all it is. They have a ton of money and they make sure that all the actors and actresses that get into the society get paid so they don't have to work. It's just the truth. Like,
yeah, you're kind of right.
You're an actor.
Right.
It's 100% true. Yeah. Like, okay, like Jamin Clement. Like, why are you getting money for Sauron? You could get a kid right out of theater school to do any of these for a fraction of the money.
The connection there, however, is that Sauron is from the Lord of the Rings movies. Lord of the Rings movies were shot in New Zealand, which is where Jermaine Clement's from. So that's why you got to go with them.
Does your 5-year-old watching this care about any of that or even know it? It's just it's a Ponzi scheme. Hollywood is a huge Ponzi scheme. It's like, okay, for example, there's a new movie coming out with what's her face. She played
I think it's more of the universal basic income than it is a Ponzi scheme.
Okay, that's true. Okay,
Yeah.
but like, there's a new movie with what's her face from Speed. What's her name?
Sandra Bullock.
Yes. Hey, no one's gonna watch that movie. No one is gonna watch a new Sandra Bullock movie where she's like in a she's like doing. It's called Lost Kingdom or something, or Lost City or something. Who's gonna watch that? What are you doing?
Is like her as Indiana Jones? Is that what this is?
I don't know. I keep seeing the trailers for it.
She was in a string of movies where the plot for every single movie was at the beginning, something like there's some complete misunderstanding, and that drives the rest of the movie. And I just completely checked out of all Sandra Bullock movies.
I mean, that's like half the movies that are made.
But hers were like spectacularly like driven by that. Yeah. It was just so bad.
I just don't understand. Like, I think I'm at the point now where, like, the Lego Batman movie, I think was a good movie, 100%. And I think Will Arnett as Batman, Michael Cera was needed as Robin,
right?
Ralph Fiennes and Rosario Dawson. I think those four could have been the only big name people in that movie, and the rest of them could have just been people that just need a job. And
right.
And voice acting
could have been they could have gone with just voice actors.
Yeah, and like, it would have been fine. It would have been fun. It would have been a lot cheaper. And like, I just like someone's like,
I'm wondering, did these people get paid like actor pay, or did they get paid voice actor pay?
They're part of a union. They're getting their They're getting their pay. They're getting their money. So
they're getting at least whatever they call it, was like base pay for an actor, at least.
Yeah, it means Zoe Kravitz is getting her payday. She's not going to, she's getting a nice little trailer. She's getting a nice little tote bag.
Well, I don't think there's a trailer. I think they just come in and like record their lines.
Dude, that's totally a trailer. That's a trailer. That's a nice little place they can sit and relax.
For a voice recording, I think they just walk in and walk out.
Dude, no way. Absolutely not. That's absolutely not.
They're not waiting around for their scene.
Yeah, dude, there's a place where Zoe Kravitz can sit and wait for her time she doesn't have to sit in the lobby with the rest of the tweebs. Like, she's not going to be like, I'm sitting here in the lobby.
I think she's got time on a calendar she comes in for, and then she pops out.
Not even close. Like, she shows up. So? There's a time when she has to be there to do her voice acting, and she's like, "Hi, Zoe Kravitz, please sit in this nice little trailer, and we'll call you when we're ready."
I think it depends on whether they're recording. Like, are they pairing up Will Arnett and Michael Cera to record at the same time, or are they recording completely separately? I don't know how they did it.
No, I don't know. But like, the amount of money sloshing around Hollywood is just stupid.
It's ridiculous. Yeah,
and like, the fact this movie costs $80 million is just mind completely blowing.
We got to find a way for movies to cost less, so that like the viewers, we're pumping in so much money, they don't need all that money. You know, we've got to find a way for everyday people to still be able to enjoy movies without pumping in so much money to these people.
Inflation's a lie. Inflation is a lie. Rich people are jacking up prices to make more money.
Right.
That's it.
Interesting in this movie, Ralph Fiennes, he voices Alfred Pennyworth, but in the Harry Potter movies, he played Voldemort. Voldemort's also in this movie, but is voiced by Eddie Izzard instead.
Yeah,
they could have just had Ralph Fiennes voice both of those.
There were some very interesting scenes where, like, that one scene where Batman told Alfred they didn't have a family, so what do you know about having a family? And like, Batman's just very rude.
He's like, what do you know about like raising a some kind of a son or something like that? It was I had to laugh at that.
Michael Cera did a really good job as Robin. I thought there's a lot of really almost too
tweet on the street.
Yeah, there's a few different. Yeah, it's just a little too.
That sounds like a Michael Cera ad lib.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tweet on the street.
Yeah,
that's funny. Anyway, can I give a grade to this movie?
Sure. You like doing that. Are you a professor or a teacher? What do we call you?
I've actually just gotten my full professorship, so I'm actually I'm not an assistant professor. I'm not an associate professor. I am a full-on
professor. Awesome.
So I'm not a teacher. So Don't call me a teacher. I don't teach anything. I profess.
Right.
I tell you things.
So, as a professor, you like grading things.
Mm-hmm.
It's your favorite part of the job.
Wait. Do you have a piece of paper? Or okay, I don't know why I said that. Get the grade you would give this in your head between A to F. Put that grade in your head right now.
All right, hang on. Give me a minute. All right.
Okay, so there's 2 grades. I'm going to give it 2 grades. First, if a grade as a movie for anyone from 5 to 10.
All right, I've got to reference this to something. So my reference point right now for this movie is based on Blade 1.
Why are we?
Because that's a recent movie that we've talked about and that we've graded.
Okay.
So I gave Blade a grade, and I'm using that as my reference point for this movie.
Okay. I'd give this movie an A for what it is. Would I watch this movie again? I don't think so. But if it was on TV, if someone was watching it, if I was at somebody's house and they were watching, I'd be like, "Oh, that movie's funny. I'm watching it." Or would I recommend it to people? I guess. It's not for me.
Mm-hmm.
But what it's trying to say, as far as like the moral stuff that's trying to say, as far as like you need family, you need friends, and all the jokes, the immense amount of jokes in the movie is just incredibly great. The very ending when they locked their Lego feet to Lego heads to form a human chain.
Yeah.
And that's just that's just a little bit too much.
I guess all of the Lego minifigures, they must all have abs because they all have flat stomachs, so
that's true.
I guess they were able to do ab crunches and bring the world back together.
Yeah. I'll give it an A. It's an A, but it's not something I want as part of my life.
It wasn't made for you, but you respect the quality.
Yeah, it's fine. I wouldn't say it needs to burn in hell or anything like that. Like that's wrong. Like it's fine. That's okay.
Okay.
Go ahead. What's your grade, Mike?
It's an A. It's an A. Yeah. Blade was an A. I think this is equally as good.
I think that's totally respectable.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. I got some other notes that we can hit on real quick before we kind of close this out.
Sure.
The Batmobile horn. Do you remember what that was?
Remind me real quick. What was it?
It was the Batmobile horn was the theme song to the Batman TV show. Okay. You and I grew up on.
A lot of this is based off the Batman TV show.
Yeah,
a lot of it is.
Yeah, Alfred's costume. His first Batman costume that he wore in the movie was based off of the TV show.
Mm-hmm.
A Marvel character appears, or doesn't appear in this movie, but is mentioned in this movie. Do you remember?
Mm-mm.
Iron Man is mentioned in this movie.
Oh yeah, Iron Man sucks. That was the password. Yeah,
right. Right. Yeah.
I wonder why he said that.
I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny. I mean, it makes sense for this Batman for his password to be that. But I guess that means that DC is in the same universe as Marvel. At least in DC's eyes. In DC's eyes. Or at least in this movie's eyes.
Yeah.
Like Batman knows who Iron Man is, you know?
Let's not get into it.
I'm not saying there's any wider implications of it, but it's interesting.
Okay.
Barbara Gordon.
Yeah.
That's a real character, right? That's a real comic book character?
100%, yeah. The comic that everybody should read is called The Killing Joke.
I've heard of that one. It's kind of problematic, though, right?
Yeah. It's got a lot going on. Don't let your kids read it.
Right.
But it's the definitive Joker story, to be honest with you.
Okay. Is Robin an adopted orphan in the comics at all?
Yeah.
He is?
His parents are killed. Yeah, his parents are killed in a circus accident. And then Batman adopts him.
Okay, I did not know that. I don't know if that was how Robin comes into play in the TV show from like the 60s.
I think they might have mentioned it, but no, I don't think that
he's kind of old. He's older, right? He's closer in age to Batman.
The TV show in the 60s didn't mention anything about the origins of these two guys.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Okay. Because that was really my only reference point for Robin. Other than the horrible
Oh,
Batman and Robin movie.
Dick
So
Grayson's a fantastic character. Fantastic, one of my favorite DC characters. He's just fantastic. Do you remember the Bloodhaven reference? Like Barbara Gordon was in Bloodhaven
I do
before she went
remember
to
that
Gotham.
reference. What is Bloodhaven?
Bloodhaven's an actual town that kind of became it's a
That
town
in
that's
the in
that
the in the Lego Batman movie, that was the town that Barbara Gordon came from before she went to
yeah.
Gotham.
In DC, it's the actual town that's worse than Gotham. And at some point, Batman sends Nightwing there to find out what happened to a bunch of people, and Nightwing ends up staying in Bloodhaven and becoming its vigilant there. So, like Batman's Gotham City, and Nightwing took over Bloodhaven as a protector.
Who is Nightwing?
Oh, at some point, Dick Grayson, leaves Batman and decides to become his own superhero, and he changes his name to Nightwing.
Ah, okay. Cool. That's pretty cool.
Mm.
Lots of references to other movies in this movie. Batman talks about gleaming the cube at one point, which is its own movie. I thought there was a connection to Batman. I thought it was like maybe referencing that movie because Val Kilmer was in it, but it wasn't Val Kilmer. It was some other dude that I'm not remembering right now. Yeah, I guess that's it. That's all the notes I've got. Anything else that jumped out about the movie you want to talk about?
I think so. If you watch the Lego Batman movie and you're interested in some of the Batman stuff that were mentioned as far as like the different characters and stuff, DC's great to dig into it. There's no like so like if you want to read the serious stuff, there's a ton of different things you should get caught up into. Like the Killing Joke's a great trade paperback you can get to. The Hush series is really good. And there's also I think you should probably read what was it called? It's not called Nightfall, but there's another time where there's an earthquake that wrecks Gotham, and it creates a series of events where Gotham is cut off from the United States and becomes like a no man's land. It's actually called the story is called No Man's Land. And it's a fantastic story. This is a simply fantastic story where Gotham City is like lawless, and it's like a bunch of different villains and people take over the town, over the city, and little clans and stuff like that. And Batman has to start from scratch, and there's no it's just super great. So the this movie, Lego Batman movie, is funny. But if you're into Batman and you're listening and you watch the new Batman movie that just came out, stuff like that, there's lots and lots and lots of great Batman stories out there that you can find out.
Right. Yeah, this movie really like made me remember how good Batman is.
Just as a character, Batman is fantastic. It's like he's a nice place where you could like paint lots of different pictures, and he's a lot of fun. There's a fantasy element as well. Everybody wants to kind of be that guy who is super fit and like fighting crime, yeah, and he looks cool. I mean, the whole
Right.
his outfit's super fun. And so you can go the fantastic outlandish route as Lego Batman does, or you can go the more traditional routes, which is good as well. But yeah, Batman's just fantastic. And again, this is our first time talking about DC Comics, so DC Comic stuff. So
Right.
that was fun.
What was your favorite part of the movie?
I didn't have a whole lot of favorite part. The part that was most irritating to me was when Batman started singing that song when he was first fighting the Joker. What was it? I forget the song. But that Poison Ivy was trying to kiss him, and he kept like grabbing penguins, and Poison Ivy kept kissing the penguins instead.
Right.
That was fun. But
okay,
that was it. I think I have a really cold heart. Like maybe a kid would make me have a second childhood. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you remember the name of the vehicle in this movie? Like the main one? It starts with a S.
No.
It's like Scrambler or something like that.
all those vehicles they had, I have no idea if those are canon or not. I don't think they are.
Yeah, I think there's probably some that are, and then a lot that aren't. The shark repellent spray actually apparently came from the 60s movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think my favorite part of the movie was just, if it's called the Scrambler, we'll go with that. But just the scenes where they're flying in his ship, watching it fly around, it looks super cool. And then seeing it transform into like this bat type thing that can climb up walls and back into flying mode. It was just like really great design of the vehicle, and also the way it was shot was really cool.
Engine 1's down. Oh, that's fine. Engine 2's down. It happens. Engine 3's down. Okay.
Right. Yeah, engine 4. I should get that fixed.
Yeah. Okay, so we did it. We finally did Lego Batman. We did it.
Yeah, we did it.
Good job.
Congrats. If this movie was never made, would Zoe Kravitz be Catwoman in the new Batman movie?
Probably not.
Yeah. Yeah, I think.
I have some bad news.
Uh-oh. What?
Some bad news. You do know that they're not going to make a sequel to this.
I don't know if I was expecting a sequel or not.
That they can't.
Okay.
So like the Lego.
Oh, you mean to the Lego Batman movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they can't. The rights. They don't have the rights anymore. So they don't have the rights to use Batman.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. Nope. Who doesn't have the rights? Who had the rights? Was it Warner Brothers?
Warner Brothers did not lease the rights back to the studios that make Lego Batman. So it was like, so Lego Batman has to have the rights from Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers like, nah, forget it. And then, so that's it.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I think, it's an A movie. It doesn't really need a sequel.
I think a sequel probably would have diluted it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's probably a good thing, actually.
Yeah.
What about the Batman movie? Nope. Do you know if there's a sequel planned for that, or is that a one-off?
Probably. It's getting great reviews and people seem to love it. So there'll probably be which is interesting because I'm curious. I guess DC's going to redo their cinematic universe again. So I don't know what they're going to do. It is a mess. That's a conversation for another time. But I don't think DC is ever going to have the universe that Marvel has. Disney plus Marvel. The MCUs, they're never going to have an MCU. Not like it's not even going to come close to it.
Watching the Lego Batman movie has me really excited to watch the Batman movie.
We should do a show on it. I don't know when I can watch it. We need to talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Yeah. Do you have some news that we can abuse?
Yeah, there's two. Not much. Not much news you can abuse this week. Actually, I don't even have like this new. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. So, Mike, you saw Spider-Man No Way Home, correct?
That's right.
Do you know at the end of it, you saw that Tom Holland's Spider-Man had a new Spider-Man costume?
Yeah.
But you didn't really get to see it very well, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, hang on. I've got something for you.
Well, you see it a little bit. He jumps out of his window and flies through New York.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Perfect ending to that movie.
Yeah.
The ending of that movie was my favorite part of the movie.
But you didn't get a chance to see his costume. Okay, I put a link into the Slack. Click on the link and you'll see a full-fledged costume.
Okay. I mean, it looks...
You scroll down?
Yeah. It looks pretty great. Classic, right?
It is the The only thing that's not classic is the blue.
The blue's shimmery.
Yeah, that's not definitely
almost like fish scales.
So the shimmering of his blue's a little different. Right. If you look at his boots, they're a little higher than they normally would be. Mm-hmm. And the spider is bigger than it normally would be. But other than that, it looks absolutely amazing. I would love to see a movie with him wearing that.
Yeah, I really like it. Like, I would love to see a trilogy of movies where he wears this suit and nothing else.
Yeah. And last but not least, for our news you can abuse, we talked about this last podcast. Yeah, the Netflix shows are coming to Disney Plus full. Just not Hulu, nothing. Just straight to Disney Plus.
They did it right.
That's absolutely incredible. And apparently Disney Plus has parental locks on it now.
Yeah,
so
they
you
added
can make
that.
sure your
They
kids.
added that.
Yeah, so that's incredible. That's just like nuts. That's like now. I mean, it's almost official. These Netflix shows are officially in the MCU. It's like, it's insane to me. And not just the Netflix shows. Also, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. are also on Disney Plus as well.
Yeah, that's interesting. I watched some of that, but I never finished it.
I never watched any of it, and I probably won't.
I'm trying to decide whether I should try to pick up where I left off, or start it over again, or just leave it alone.
What I would do is to spend some more time with the. Did you watch The Defenders on Netflix?
I did.
Okay. Did you watch all the Marvel?
I watched all the Marvel
Netflix
stuff on Netflix. Yeah.
Okay. Well, just watch them again.
Daredevil, definitely the highlight. I'm definitely going to rewatch Daredevil, no doubt.
I didn't watch the second season. I didn't finish the season of Iron Fist, and I didn't watch season 2. I think I'm going to try that.
I think I'll probably rewatch Daredevil and
Is Punisher. I can't believe a show called The Punisher is going to be on Disney Plus. That's just nuts. That's absolutely incredible. That's just.
I think what I'm going to do with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is I'm going to add that to my up next queue. And if I ever run out of things to watch, I'll pick it back up at the beginning. So
you sit down at some point and like, I want to watch television, and you watch shows.
Uh-huh.
I just don't do that.
What do you do?
I play video games.
So the only TV shows you watch are the Marvel TV shows that we've watched for this podcast.
Yeah, dude. Like, the only time I even watch a movie now is like when I have to do stuff for the podcast. Like, and then sometimes I'll go to a movie to see a movie. Like sometimes, but
okay.
I'm not like my relaxation medium of choice is video games now. It's just like I would rather do that.
Yeah.
Which is like, but my wife, I think, well, my wife and I don't watch shows together. I think that might be something we need to start doing.
Yeah, she doesn't like she doesn't like any of this stuff.
No, and I don't like to watch the stuff she wants to watch.
How did Lord of the Rings go? Is that something
we didn't watch it? We haven't watched it. No, I've actually said that she doesn't have to watch it. I feel bad because I don't want to get in a situation where she makes me watch something I don't want to watch. I don't feel like it.
Right.
So I'd rather not do that.
Yeah, I primarily watch stuff on my Apple TV, so I'm going to add Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to my up next queue. It's going to get buried quickly, but it'll be there if I ever run out of things to watch, which is highly unlikely.
My wife and I, we watch sports together a lot. So there you go. And we always watch TV after dinner. So we watch TV.
What do you
all
watch?
the time.
Just like whatever's on, or?
We watch some Cooking Network. We watch some basketball games. And if nothing else is on, we'll just find something.
You're supposed to watch the Cooking Network before you eat, not after you eat.
It's fine. We like to watch Midsummer Murders.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, dude. Okay, you should try it. Midsummer Murders.
It's a TV show?
It's great. It's a long-run TV show in a town called Midsummer, where someone dies every episode, and then cops try to solve the murder. It's great.
Is this it's
a British show. It's British.
British show. Interesting. Okay. Cool.
You should watch it.
What movie do you want to put in the ring for our next one?
Oh no. I guess we have to ask people if they want us to watch the new Batman movie or start with the old Batman movies. How's that?
Interesting. Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
We can.
So, do you want us to watch
the mix? I think we'll keep the options that we had from the last poll, and we'll add those two in. Yeah, that'll be good. Mm-hmm. All right.
Cool.
Well, I'll see you next
Mike,
time.
How can people wait? Hey.
Oh, that's right.
How can people hear about us? How can they we have a fantastic episode on Lego Batman. How can people hear about
I think we need to come up with like a thing that we just say over and over again. Like,
I like
how
the way
all
we
the
do this.
YouTubers like smash the subscribe.
No, I like
something?
this better.
You like this
I don't
better,
like that.
where we
I
talk.
don't want
It's
to do
not-
anything. I don't want to do anything YouTubers are doing. Whatever they're doing, I'd rather not.
So you don't want like
I'd
a
rather do the-
catchphrase for like
No.
hit the
I
share
think
button or
news you can't abuse is a kind of a catchy little thing.
right. Well, anyway,
Right.
what you need to do is share this podcast with your friends and with your acquaintances and with your coworkers.
Yes. Share it wide and share it often.
Right.
Start a big group chat with all your family members and send the link to your group chat, and then let them get annoyed that they have to see it.
Right. And yeah, Jay, you like sharing it with people that are your enemies?
Mm-hmm.
Well?
That's my favorite activity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what they say? Keep your enemies close.
Yeah. Keep your
Right.
enemies close. Keep your enemies closer.
Right.
Wait.
Keep
That's
your
crazy.
friends
No.
close. Keep your enemies closer. So yeah, share this with all of your enemies.
I like keep your enemies close, keep your friends closer. You don't really have to keep your enemies close. There's no real reason for that.
Right. Well, maybe you can turn an enemy into a friend over over your enjoyment of this podcast.
If you're an adult, you shouldn't have enemies. Like, what are you doing with your life?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you have an enemy?
Right.
Like, make friends with them.
Yeah.
Walk to their house, say, "Hey, I want to patch things up. Let's listen to this podcast."